Here comes the money. You're now listening to the Gambling with Gold podcast with Jason Gold. Presented by Champions Round.
What is going on? Welcome to Gambling with Gold. My name is Jason Gold. This is Justin Henry, and we are here for Conference Championship Weekend to give out our 5 best bets. Usually these are against the spread, but what we're going to do for Conference Championship is just give out our 5 top bets against the spread, player props, game props, whatever, however it comes to you. Justin, you ready to get into this and make some money, baby?
Ready to get into it, man. This is gonna be a fun weekend too. The best teams I feel like that are in the NFL are in there. The Bengals, Chiefs, the Niners, of course, and then the Eagles, man. So it should be some pretty good football.
The 3 top MVP candidates and Mr. Irrelevant. Why not? Let's get right into it. What is your number one bet on the board this weekend?
My number one bet on the board this week is Brock Purdy under 219.5 passing yards. Now, this Eagles defense is ready, and I know you see the Niner hat in the back. It's tough, man, but I think we saw Brock Purdy get a little flustered last week, and this Eagles defense has been stout all year. One of the top pass defenses against the pass all season long. And Brock Purdy came in last week and had, it's been tough for him to hit this number, 220. He's been right around there in some games, and we've seen the high scoring outputs, but a lot of that's due to the run game. And we saw him get flustered last week. I think we could see it again against his vaunted Philadelphia Eagles defense. Pass rush with Hassan Reddick, and then that secondary is elite. Give me Brock Purdy under 219.5 passing yards.
Oh, I hate to see it because you know how I feel about Brock Purdy. You know what we're saying about Brock Purdy. If you've seen any of our other shows, you know what I'm going to say. If they're talking about his Johnson, he's going to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, look, if he's going to go under this number, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that they can't win this game. What it does hurt a little bit is what my number one pick is, which is the Eagles 49ers over 46 points. This line has moved a little bit. It's up to 46.5 at some places. But just remember, the entire public is going to bet the under in this game. They saw what just happened with San Francisco. They want to bet the Eagles in this spot. They think the Eagles will dominate in a low-scoring game, something like maybe 23-17, 23-14, something like that. Yet, the line is 2.5. It's not moving to 3. And the total keeps going up and up and up. What does that tell you? We've done this before. The Sharps are definitely on the over in this game, and I think that they're split on the 49ers and the Eagles. So I'm going to hold off on my 49ers pick for now. But I will say the over in this game is definitely the bet. If you can get that 46 number, bet it in this spot. The offenses in this game between Kyle Shanahan and Nick Sirianni have more ways to operate against these defenses than the other way around. They have more mismatches. They have more ability to change on the fly. I think that if you want to bet the under in this game, bet the under in the first half. But I'm telling you, the points are coming. I think it's going to get a little out of hand. Take that over 46 for sure.
Jason, and this will lead actually, I'll just say this is one of my picks too. Sometimes when you dig for gold, right? We're just gambling with gold. Sometimes when you dig for gold, you find fool's gold. And earlier in the week, I was on this under just like everybody else. But you got to do your homework. You got to learn what fool's gold is and what real gold is. As a Niner fan, I know how to find gold. 6 out of the last 8 games that Brock Purdy has been in, this team has hit over 30 points. This Eagles team, in 4 of their last 6 games, has hit over 30 points. And this total sitting at 46.5. Something smells a little fishy about this one. Jason, you converted me, my man. I'm on the over with you. Niners and Eagles over 46.5. I love it.
I love it too. All right. So that was one of your top 5 picks. Why don't you head over to your third one? What else you got?
Also, let's, I'll get back into the totals and the player props, but let's take a different position. Let's go Evan McPherson. 1.5 field goals, taking the over. This Chiefs-Bengals game is going to get hot and heavy at some point. It's going to be these two teams, they're rivals. We're calling it Burrowhead. But I think the kicking game is going to be a factor because against Mahomes, against this Chiefs team, whether he's hobbled up on one ankle or not, you got to put up points. Evan McPherson in both games he's played against the Chiefs has had 2 field goals. I don't think that's going to stop this game, and there might even be a game winner there. So I know I've been backing the Chiefs all week, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But if they're going to win, they're going to have a shot. It's going to be on McPherson's leg at the end. Give me Evan McPherson over 2 field goals.
Strong. Does the weather play any factor there? Maybe a little snow, maybe a little cold?
They're going to have to kick. At some point, they got to kick, and that actually might hurt the offense at some point. I'm taking McPherson. He's got the leg for it.
All right. I like it. I'm going to stay in that game for my number 2 pick on the board. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs money line, minus 115 in the first half. I think they come out hot. I think that people are going to be surprised at how good Mahomes looks. I think the Bengals are way too overvalued. And just remember, the Bengals are 3-0 against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs have had an over 75% winning probability in all 3 of those games. Let's also remember last year they were up 21-3 at the half against this Bengals team. This Bengals team is coming in riding high. Everybody's starting to discount the Chiefs. Yet this line moved down to plus 2.5 for the Chiefs because of the Mahomes injury and because the public is all over the Bengals in this spot. Everybody on TikTok is simping for Joe Burrow. But you're getting to a spot where the Chiefs were undervalued and all the sharps came back and bought on Mahomes and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs build a lead here. So I'll take first half money line over game money line. But I do think the Chiefs ultimately get this done. And I told you guys yesterday on Spiciest Take, I think this game's going to overtime, plus 13-20 at DraftKings right now. And I think the Chiefs win 26-20 in OT.
That line movement before we get into the next pick has been kind of crazy all week because it started off the Chiefs were favored, then there was the heavy push to the Bengals side, and now we're seeing that line creep back over to the Chiefs. Not the first half, obviously, but just the game total. What are your thoughts on that? Because that line movement's been pretty interesting, all on the status of Mahomes' ankle.
Yeah, I think this is all Mahomes' ankle. I think that early in the week people were scared. I think that the comments that were made during the game, oh my God, who was talking about the fact that Mahomes' ankle would be – it was Romo who was talking about this. Mahomes' ankle during the game, he was not surprised that he was able to move on it because you have so much adrenaline. I'm sure they took some sort of shot at halftime to kind of numb the pain there. But during the week, it was only going to get worse. And Romo said he was not able to play on it for 3 weeks. Now, this is not exactly the same injury, but we saw Mahomes in 2019 do a similar thing, coincidentally, against the Jaguars, and he was able to play the next week. And I think for the next 3 weeks, he averaged close to 400 yards passing per game. So, yeah, he's not going to be as mobile. Yeah, he's going to have to sit in the pocket more. But this is still Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes on 1.5 feet is better than 99% of quarterbacks out there. Does it even the playing field a little bit? Maybe. But this is Mahomes. I think that everybody realized, okay, at plus 2.5, there's too much value on the Bengals in this spot. We got to buy back on the Chiefs. And also, I think that sharp people probably decided, okay, I get both sides of this. If they got it in early enough, they got the Bengals at plus money. Then they got the Chiefs at plus money. Easy middle.
Yep, easy middle. Play both sides, baby. So I'm not too mad at that. But yeah, I was curious because that ankle is going to be the talk of the whole weekend. Obviously, the week leading up to it and in the game as well. So it's kind of affected his passing number as well. So it came out early, 276.5. It got bumped up to 282. And so my fourth pick is actually going to be the under with Pat Mahomes. Even if he's feeling right and we see this line going into the Chiefs' favor and we see him look, bouncing around the press conference, they're not worried about the ankle anymore as much. I still think this is going to be under. This Bengals defense has played really well against Mahomes in his career, and he struggled to hit the 250 mark in most of the games against his Bengals team. I could see them leaning heavily on the run game. I talked about this, obviously, Spicy's take as well with Andy Reid, drawing up a lot more run plays for this team. I think Mahomes, they're going to take care of him, getting into some quick action throws. But then they're also going to lean on that run game pretty heavily and throw some trickeration, I think, our way. I like the under for Mahomes, and it's not necessarily because of the ankle. It's because I think the Cincinnati Bengals defense is legit.
The trickeration. Now we're talking about my over 4.5 passes from different players this weekend. I love that. I love the idea of someone else getting involved in this game. All right, I like that play, and I'm going to stick on the player props for my next 2 picks. First one on the board. What the Eagles struggle with the most defensively is tight ends. And who is Brock Purdy's favorite target? My man, George Kittle. So I'm going to take the over 3.5 receptions of this game for minus 150 on George Kittle. And I will also take the over 44.5 receiving yards on him. That is not an official play, but those two are obviously correlated together. I believe that they will get it done. I think this is a giant George Kittle game. And then my fourth pick, I'm going to stick in the Cincinnati game. Samaje Perine, over 15.5 receiving yards in this game. You saw he was way involved at the end of the second half, or the end of the first half in the second quarter last week. And it kind of correlates with a Joe Mixon under 3.5 receptions. I like both of those plays, but for my number 4 lock, I will take Samaje Perine over 15.5 receiving yards. He's getting so much action in that backfield, and I think he does a lot of good work in pass pro, which is why he's in the game. I think that Perine has a big day through the air.
I can see that, like you mentioned, they used him last time as well when these two teams matched up very heavily, so I can see that happen. I like that play, man. My last one, going to be Kansas City Chiefs -1. Now, this line has bounced back and forth, and you mentioned the public is all over the Bengals. For good reason. The Bengals are on this massive winning streak. Burrow's owned the Chiefs in his career. The Bengals are ATS killers on the road, and the opposite can be said for the Chiefs. At home, they actually don't favor very well against the spread. So, all the numbers are working against the Chiefs in this one, but I'm buying Andy Reid and I'm buying Pat Mahomes. I think this team finds a way to win, especially after last season, getting bounced by this team. And the Bengals have been talking a lot this playoff run. I expect this Chiefs team to come in and play a little bit differently. Like I mentioned, give me the Chiefs -1. Kind of goes with your first half Chiefs money line there. I think we're all on the same page there, Jason.
Oh, I'm all over the Chiefs in this game. I love it. I was going to give out a different bet, but the line has moved. So the fifth bet I was going to give out was going to be Kansas City +8 and San Francisco +8.5 as a teaser. I thought that was a lock. I got that in earlier in the week when it was Kansas City +2. That was probably my favorite bet on the board this week, and it was actually the biggest bet that I placed this week. Now we're looking at Kansas City -1. San Francisco is still +2.5. So I do think that ultimately this is a one-score game in the Chiefs-Bengals. I said it's going to overtime. So with the line sitting in Kansas City -1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 6.5-point teaser, and we were going to take the Bengals up to 7.5, and we were going to take the 49ers up to 9, and that's going to be it. Because I think that the 49ers can cover an 8.5, 9 for sure, and I think it's a one-score game regardless on the other side. So whoever the dog is, if Kansas City bounces back to +1, take them up to 7 or 7.5. I like that one too. I'm just saying whoever the dog is, whoever you can move past the 3 and the 7, take them on that side and pair them with the 49ers.
Yeah, keeping that KC Bengals game a one-score game. If the Bengals went outright, there's a high probability. Everybody would love that, right? The whole public, everybody in the nation would love that. But that Niner game too, I don't see that being a blowout by any means. This should be a pretty good game, whether it's offensive or defensive. And I'm going to give out a bonus pick here. I know it's top 5, but I'm going to give out a bonus pick, and I have to. Niners money line, baby. I don't care if we're on the road. I don't care. The Niners are winning all day, baby. You see it in the back. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Niners winning this game.
All right, we got to close the show with that. Good luck with all of your bets this weekend. Thank you for joining us. Go download the Champions Round app. Use that code SPICY for $10 off our newest and best game mode, Spicy Slips. We will talk to you soon. Let's make some money, baby. See ya.